is a nation surrounded by oceans, and this vast maritime domain is one of our most precious natural resources. But as fish stocks are highly sought after around the globe, there is a greater need to defend our borders from foreign poachers.
Looks like there's 3 people on board.
Australia's Maritime Border Command within the Australian Border Force patrol 24/7 on the ground and the air to protect this national commodity.
Can we come aboard?
And monitoring of these assets is conducted from here, the MBC Operations Centre in Canberra. Today, a potential maritime threat has been spotted in Australia's northern waters.
It's one of our aircraft that's conducting aerial surveillance on the east coast of Australia has just located what they believe is a suspected Vietnamese foreign fishing vessel inside Australian waters.
The suspected illegal fishing boat is in the highly protected area near the Great Barrier Reef. Border Force patrol boat Cape Wessel is dispatched from Cairns, tasked with the job of locating and intercepting it, led by Commanding Officer Charlie.
All right, well, as you all know, we're on the way to this Vietnamese boat. When we get on scene, I'd like to do the boarding as soon as we possibly can. It's my understanding that their MO generally is to fish at night and to rest up during the day, so hopefully we can get them a little bit unawares.
Charlie, 10 miles to run.
10 miles to run. Let's have 20 knots, please, mate. The aircraft had transmitted to us that the vessel didn't have any radar, so I knew that once we were in 10 miles, the element of surprise was gone. I ramped the speed up and I tried to get as close to them as quickly as possible so that that element of surprise could be utilised.
Officers from the Australian Fisheries Management Authority, or AFMA, will inspect the catch on the fishing boat and determine if any offence has been committed. And everyone is on high alert as cameras on the ship's mast finally bring the vessel into view.
Yep, got him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
7.15 nautical miles from our position now.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people counted so far.
The boarding crew prepares for launch, and as the Border Force patrol boat moves closer, the fishermen see them approaching and begin to throw their catch overboard.
Throwing them out, overboard, whatever was in there. Gone, all of it, gone.
Biosecurity detector dogs are trained to quickly assess large groups of passengers using their exceptional sense of smell.
I'll just get you to stand nice and still, okay?
The dogs are trained to sit when they detect that someone may be carrying a restricted item.
Woody, the canine detector dog, has alerted to the passenger's back pocket. Just go back around to the bench for me, please, sir. Just come this way.
Officers must now investigate this passenger to find out what he has brought from India into Melbourne today.
Okay, and these are your bags?
Yeah.
And you packed the bags?
Yeah.
You know what's inside the bags?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have anything to declare listed here?
No.
Officer Simon understands there may be a cultural reason why the traveller attracted the detector dog's attention.
Okay, so do you have any flowers on you? Has anyone given you flowers as a souvenir or a going away present?
No.
Okay, so what I'll get you to do is just come here and just pull out your inside of your pockets for me. Okay.
Really?
Okay. So see this? Parts of plants.
Yeah.
Okay. You knew that you had that in your back pocket?
Yeah.
Okay, so why didn't you tick yes to question 7?
I'm so sorry.
It's a tradition to give a flower as a parting gift to travellers. It may be tiny, but can still have a disastrous effect on Australia's environment.
This could bring pests and diseases into the country that we don't have, okay? So it's really important that you tick yes and declare, no, not now. But in future, when you come into Australia, that's what you need to do.
Officers now proceed with a full bag search and soon make a worrying find which suggests the passenger is hiding a lot more.
What's in here?
I don't.
I asked you if you knew what the contents of the bags were and you said yes.
Australian Border Force officers at the Sydney International Mail Centre are examining parcels to prevent illicit items from being smuggled into the country.
Let's take a look at this one coming up now, Josh.
Okay.
Looks interesting.
A large parcel from China, listed as containing marker pens, has attracted their attention.
You can see the pens, but they're quite dark in the middle.
Looks like an anomaly along here. It doesn't look consistent the way a marker pen would look. In a pen, it should be consistent because it's just filled with ink, right? But you can see that it's a bit cracked there. So it's like it's got something else in there that's sort of shifted while the parcel's been moved around.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't have that line.
You can see it's in a few of them as well.
Officers will now have the box opened by Australia Post so they can check if anything illegal is hidden inside the pens.
Yeah, that's highly suspicious. It definitely looks like a concealment.
An ABF cutter patrol boat, Cape Wessel, has tracked down a vessel which they suspect is fishing illegally in waters near the Great Barrier Reef. And as they approach, the crew have begun ditching their catch overboard.
Throwing them out overboard, gone. All of it, gone.
This is usually a pretty good indication to us that they're onto us, that they know we're coming. But if we're capturing that footage on the camera, we can use that to support our case.
This is Australian Border Force Cape Wessel. We intend to board your vessel. Stop your vessel now.
Yeah, they slowed down. They haven't stopped yet though.
Depleted fish stocks in Asia due to overfishing and demand for higher value species prompts illegal fishers to enter Australia's northern waters. Australia's fisheries are among the best managed in the world and are a target for poachers. The boarding crew must be prepared for anything as they head over to inspect the catch.
When the boarding officer initially embarks the target vessel, his primary concern is to make the vessel safe for the rest of the boarding party to embark. This means he will muster the crew in the forward part of the boat, and this allows the rest of the boarding party to embark and begin to make safe the vessel.
13 fishermen are located below deck, while an AFMA fisheries officer begins to inspect the many barrels on board. And it looks like he has found a huge haul of illegal catch. Biosecurity officers in Melbourne have concerns about what this passenger is carrying in his luggage.
Just gonna seal it up.
Commercially packaged snacks found in his bags raise officers' suspicions because they appear to have been opened and then resealed.
So you bought these from a shop?
I don't sure because my bro, my friends gifted. I don't sure.
Oh, so you don't actually know what's inside?
I don't.
They've given it to you?
Yeah.
The man now contradicts his earlier statement by claiming he doesn't know what is in his bag.
So your friend gave it to you to pack, yeah?
I don't pack it. But
You didn't pack, so you don't know what's inside. We're going to open it up.
Okay,
When
open
I
it.
asked you what was inside your bag, I said, did you
Okay,
pack
okay.
your bags? You said yes. And I said, were you aware of the contents of the bags? And you said yes. Sir, I'm speaking to you. I asked you if you knew what the contents of the bags were, and you said yes.
Got 2 packages here been resealed, right? You should know what's inside.
Each packet contains a concealed plastic bag, and as Officer Stephen checks the contents, the passenger becomes increasingly nervous. At the Sydney International Mail Centre, Australian Border Force officers are concerned that this box sent from China might contain something illegal.
Okay, there's definitely pens there. They look commercially packed and sealed from the outside. No glue present. They look normal. I think maybe we should take a couple of these out and x-ray them on the small x-ray.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd maybe take one of each colour.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Officers now x-ray the selected pens for a detailed look at their contents.
See what it shows when we x-ray them individually.
It could be ink, but I think the cracking here suggests that it's probably not, and also the inconsistencies with the fills.
You can also see a green tinge through it, and although ink may have a green tinge when it's commercially done, definitely that's the indications of a chemical substance.
I'd suggest that whatever's in this one is also in this one and this one.
Yeah.
It appears to be a sophisticated concealment, so the markers will now be deconstructed to reveal what is hidden inside.
I think perhaps I might be able to screw off the top.
Yeah, okay.
That could be perhaps how they do it. Yep, there you go, it's screwing off. I've just got some tools to try and pop the top off of it. There we go, pops off, and inside, there we go. Yeah, we can see a white substance.
Australian Border Force and AFMA fisheries officers have successfully boarded this foreign fishing boat located near the Great Barrier Reef, and the entire operation has been closely monitored by officers at the Australian Maritime Border Operations Centre in Canberra.
So the boarding team from Cape Wessel has in fact boarded this vessel. We've established it is Vietnamese in origin. There's 13 illegal foreign fishermen on board. When the vessel arrived, there was divers in the water, including compressors going, which shows that they have in fact been taking illegal catch from our waters.
Inspection of the many barrels on board reveals the men were diving for sea cucumbers or bêche de mer. Considered to be a luxury seafood in Asia, there is a constant demand for these, especially from China.
Quite a high value treepang. You can see how it's been split. They're all split and then salted and put into brine for their trip home. Once they get home, they'll be dried and processed further, and then they'll be ready to be sold.
Depending on the species, a sea cucumber can fetch up to $500 a kilo, and these huge returns mean that foreign fishermen will go to any lengths to obtain them.
The rewards for these people are huge, so you can understand why they might be tempted to come to Australian waters and take our fish.
But with high returns comes high risk, and these 13 illegal fishermen may now be facing hefty penalties and the confiscation and deconstruction of their vessel. Biosecurity officers in Melbourne have found plastic bags concealed in what appeared to be commercially packaged snacks in this passenger's luggage.
So it doesn't match what you've got in the package. You tell us it's snacks, it's not snacks in both packaging. The packaging is totally different, and they've both been resealed, as you see. In both cases, both packaging have been resealed.
Officer Stephen discovers the bags are filled with a quantity of unidentified plant material.
Do you know, what is it? What is the plant?
Tobacco.
Tobacco?
Tobacco.
So this is tobacco?
135 tobacco.
You knew what it was when I asked you. You said it's tobacco. So to me, you knew what's inside your bag. You knew what's inside the packaging. Yes or no?
No, sir, I know.
But you knew it's tobacco. You identified it straight away as tobacco.
Yeah.
So you knew what it was.
Officer Stephen discovers the bags are filled with a quantity of unidentified plant material.
That could have multiple plant diseases on it, or it could also have other insects that we don't have.
Loose leaf tobacco is a restricted item and a danger to biosecurity.
This is my friend.
Your friend asked you?
My friend asked you. Ask me.
So you took that gamble. You said, I'll bring it in.
Yeah.
Why? No, but you could be caught and you could be fined. Why would you do it?
Sorry.
He may be sorry, but what he doesn't know is that making a false declaration over such a large quantity of tobacco can lead to serious penalties. Australian Border Force and AFMA fisheries officers have identified barrels full of catch on board this Vietnamese fishing vessel. It's been illegally taken from Australian waters near the Great Barrier Reef, and it includes many sea cucumber species. Estimating there is a massive 3 tons of illegal catch on board, it would have been a highly lucrative journey. But these foreign fishermen won't be making any money from this trip.
Once we determined how much catch was on board, given that the catch had come out of the sea only a few days before and was stowed in salt, there was no threat to the environment. So we were directed by AFMA, the Australian Fish Management Authority in Canberra, to dispose of the catch. This we did by returning it to the sea.
The 3 tons of catch is disposed of, but the journey is just beginning for the 13 illegal fishers. They are detained and transferred to Cape Wessel, where they will remain in a holding area until they reach Cairns to face prosecution under Australian law.
Australia has those strong fisheries laws, but you can't have a strong conservation regime without a strong compliance regime. We're very keen to see Australian fisheries protected and sustainable into the future, and with a strong compliance regime, we can all have that.
There you go.
Yeah, we can see a white substance.
Highly suspicious.
Australian Border Force officers are concerned by a substance they found inside a marker pen, which is part of a large shipment.
Looks like crystals, maybe fine crystals.
Perhaps, yeah, I'll tip a bit out and we can test that with nick test and that'll confirm it. There we go.
If the nick test is positive for an illicit substance, then it will change colour.
And we should see a really nice blue colour come up at the end of this. It'll be indicative of methamphetamine. And there we go, straight away, really dark blue. So that's a really good indicator.
Yeah, it looks like methamphetamine to me.
Yep.
The marker pens are weighed to confirm how much of the deadly methamphetamine ice has been intercepted.
So it looks like 10 to 15 grams per marker.
Looks like quite a sizable concealment.
The parcel will now be handed over to the Australian Federal Police. Biosecurity officers have alerted Border Force, who must now confront this passenger about his attempt to smuggle tobacco into Australia.
This is a clear concealment, okay? You've tried to attempt to bring something in that's concealed. It's important that you understand that making a false declaration has serious consequences behind it.
Passengers must declare tobacco imports and pay the relevant duty. However, this passenger's tobacco is in loose form and therefore poses a serious biosecurity risk, meaning it cannot enter the country. He will instead be the recipient of a fine.
You will be getting an infringement notice of $420. You are giving a chance of $420, yes.
The tobacco will be confiscated and destroyed.
I want you to put this into the bin.
Okay.
Right, and then you know it's been disposed of, okay? Thank you.
Okay, so if you can come with me, you can pay your infringement notice.
Just follow the officer to the duty collector to pay the fine, yeah? I hope it's a good lesson to him educationally, and you know next time not to bring anything from any friends or any family members unless he knows what it is, and to declare it on the card.
So just straight through there.
The Cape Wessel crew have successfully detained 13 Vietnamese fishermen after AFMA fisheries officers found 3 tons of illegal catch on board their fishing boat, which has been detained and is being towed from near the Great Barrier Reef back to Cairns.
So what we're now going to do is secure that vessel for the purpose of bringing that into an Australian port and handing that to AFMA for prosecution.
Once they reach port, the fishermen will spend 6 weeks in a Darwin detention facility, along with men from 2 other illegal fishing boats also caught in Australia's northern waters. Following a court appearance, some of them will be returned home.
The 34 fishermen that are departing today have all appeared in the courts in Darwin. Their matters have all been finalised and they're being flown back to Vietnam today.
These 34 men are relieved to be going home, as the others are not so lucky.
Some of the people have been imprisoned because they had suspended sentences, because it was not their first time that they'd been picked up for illegal foreign fishing.